What's good, y'all? Y'all already know this is Showtime's Fight Forum. I'm Showtime. Please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. So today we're gonna recap UFC 258. Now this card was honestly probably I'm not gonna say it was a letdown. Honestly, the card was actually good, but as far as important fights for the future, as far as the titles and stuff like that, wasn't the greatest card in the world. That's going to happen next month with Izzy and all those good guys is going to be on that card, but we'll talk about that another day. But the main event was very, very important. Why? Because it was about the 170-pound division. All right, we had Usman fighting his teammate Gilbert Burns, and I want to break down that fight, but first things first, I have to talk about Macy Barber. It was a good fight, by the way. Great fight. I love the fight between you and Grasso, but good lord, man, I thought she was getting jumped at one point because she was fighting nobody. At one point, she was just shadow boxing. I didn't know if she saw some people we didn't see. It was 3 people in the ring, but I don't know. Her coaches might need to talk to her one time. If you gonna faint, make sure you ain't range to faint because you was 10 feet away. I didn't know who you was trying to fight. But back to the important fight, which was the Kamaru Usman fight. Man, I was actually a little I was conflicted. I didn't know. I was very, very challenged to say who I thought was gonna win. I did pick Usman because he is the bigger guy. He is, very, very strong. I did think he was gonna take him down. I thought he was gonna, be able to nullify his ground game. But no, it was a stand-up fight. I was very surprised by that. I thought the stand-up kind of edged towards Gilbert just because Gilbert is really light on his feet. He's great with combinations. He has power. So I was more so assuming if it stays on the feet, Usman is a little stiff sometimes. He is hittable. He has a big ass head. So I was thinking Gilbert was going to tag him a couple times. Granted, the first 30 seconds we saw, Gilbert did tag him. Caught him with a very, very good punch. Hurt him. And started capitalizing on him. And I'm like, oh, this is about to be a long night. Like, if he could hurt him with this, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen Usman hurt. But Usman showed that he is a competitor. Usman showed that he is the best welterweight in the world. Why? Because he went through adversity and he thrived. I can't tell you enough. I don't really rate people that bad when they lose or if they're losing. It's about how you respond. And Usman felt the most trouble he's been in since he's, lost early in his career. And he went out like a champ. He adjusted and then he dominated. That stiff jab. Oh, my Lord. It hurt. It hurt Gilbert bad. And as we saw, he eventually got the finish. And so now the thing is, what's next? I think they did a list. I have to find a list, but I believe they said out of the top 10, Usman beat around 7 or 8. Zeesh. And in the top 5, he's beaten everybody but one, which is Wonder Boy. So then the next obvious question would be, what is next for him, man? And also I've heard other stuff, but we'll go to that later. But this is what's next. He's beating everybody. Well, you still have everybody that he's beaten, but you still can do rematches. Colby, as much as I don't like Colby, and I've said this before, I don't like Colby. I think he's a fraud. He's fluke. And I'm so annoyed that we're going to do 4 more years of this Keep America Great Again. I think that was the lamest gimmick you could have chose is to, be on another man's penis. It's weird, but, hey, whatever floats your boat. But I will tell you, he's one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's great. He's a great fighter. And we saw them 2 fight. That was close. I thought it was 2-2 going into the 5th where Usman obviously got the finish. So, I mean, I would love to see them running back. Colby dominated Tyron, made him look terrible. Granted, Woodley's not who he was, but he embarrassed him. So we have Colby. We could do the rematch with him, but I do think he should probably fight one more match. We also have Wonder Boy. I would love for him to fight Wonder Boy because I think it's a very interesting match stylistic-wise. Wonder Boy is not the easiest guy to take down. And stand-up wise, Usman, I don't believe will be able to beat Wonder Boy. I think that he's too heavy-footed, and I don't think he'll be able to get in range to be able to land that big power punch like Tyron was able to do. He's not as athletic as Tyron, but I 100% believe Wonder Boy needs to get another W. He needs to get a W in the top 5. I thought he should have fought Leon. I don't know why he hasn't fought Leon. I don't know why they keep booking Leon fighting the other Russian. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I'm like, bro, Wonder Boy's right there. You want to and when you look at Leon's, granted he has a win streak, it's dope. It's not that impressive. I think his biggest W is what, RDA? But it's not the most impressive. It's not the most impressive resume. So you beat Wonder Boy, you in there like swimwear. But then, like I said, we already went to Wonder Boy. Now we got to go to Leon. Leon has an 8-fight win streak. I also believe that he should have one more fight in the top 5. But if you don't go that route, Leon deserves the title shot more than anybody else because he hasn't lost yet. He hasn't lost in a while. I do think that he should fight somebody, but if you're going to give anybody the next title shot, Leon Edwards is the man and he needs to have the title shot. But the person that it seems like everybody wants to see Usman fight again is Jorge Masvidal. I'm not for it. I'm going to just tell you this like flat out. I'm not for it. People come up with all these excuses for Jorge, but let's come up with let's be realistic about these excuses. One, yes, he did take the fight on short notice. Let's also be honest, the fact that he was training prior. This wasn't like, oh, I'm just now training. This dude was training for Usman way before. And then he also made this post talk about game bread. What does game bread mean? That means you're always ready. Okay, cut the excuses out. Second, he got dominated. It was 45. It was 50-45. A round wasn't close. It was obvious who won. And then also look at it. Usman didn't have any time to prepare or train for Jorge. This is a totally different fight. He was ready for Burns. Then you go from Burns to Jorge. It's 2 totally different matchups, 2 different styles. So obviously he had to adjust on the fly, which was hold him against the cage, take him down, beat him up, and hold him. It is what it is. But you give him a full camp. Who's to sit here and say it's not going to be just as dominant? We don't know. But I also am not that interested because I already seen them fight. It wasn't that fun. So I prefer to give somebody new a chance. And I mean, newish. Granted, Leon, they fought before, but that was years ago. I'd rather see that. Jorge, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Jorge is 7-5 in the welterweight division since he joined again. He is 7-5. His win streak is versus Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is not a 170-pounder. I'm sorry, I'm not impressed by Nate Diaz. Not. You guys can be his fan. He's a fun fighter to watch, but when it comes to the elite of the elite, he normally always falls short. Then Ben Askren, who was 1-2 in the UFC, and it's like, oh well, one of those was to Jorge. Okay, well then he's 1-1, and that one win was very questionable because a lot of people don't think Robbie tapped. So then it's like, okay, let's go to Darren Till. Darren Till, great win. It is what it is. I'm not even gonna sit here and go into details about that. He won. That was a great fight, but his 3-win streak wasn't that impressive. I'm sorry. We got to move on. He needs to fight somebody else. He needs to fight somebody in the top 10, top 5. Maybe have him fight the Russian. Have them 2 fight. I would love to see that fight. But don't reward him by fighting Usman. Usman, please fight Leon. Fight Wonder Boy. Fight somebody else. Do not fight Jorge right off the bat. Let him earn his way because I just don't think that he genuinely deserves that fight. But I basically think that's it with the 170-pound division. That's my opinion. You guys can tell me what you think about the 170-pound division. I'm so excited for it. It's, in my opinion, the second best division in all of MMA. Not even just UFC, but you can go to literally every single, you can go to Bellator, you can go to ONE FC. There's so much talent in the 170-pound division. So I'm very amped up and ready, to see all these fights break down. But right now, we know who's king, all right? And that's that African man from Nigeria. And that's my man, Kamaru Usman. And I love Usman. I'm a big fan of Usman. He gets a lot of hate. He is not the GOAT. Let's cut that out. GSP is the welterweight GOAT. But Usman is well on his way if he continues to ball out like he is to eventually be the 170-pound GOAT. But once again, thank you guys for listening. Please, once again, comment, subscribe, like, and tell me what you guys think. Who should fight who? And also, do you think Kamaru is the GOAT? Or do you think he's on his way to GOAT? Or do you think GSP just sealed that joint so far away? Ain't nobody beating it. Let me know.